In today's Motivation Monday, think about educational opportunities. What can we do? We're so busy, we don't have time to think. That's typically the problem I always run into. I'm sure you do too. As a practitioner, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about hardware asset management, software asset management, or configuration management. We struggle. We're so much into the weeds sometimes. We have a hard time seeing the forest for the trees. So how do we overcome this? How do we make ourselves more adept to our surroundings? How do we educate ourselves to be more proficient in what we do? And what kind of skills are those? So as I thought about this morning, I thought about a book. Thought about a book by John Maxwell. It's Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Everyone communicates, few connect. It's a book I've actually recommended to several. I've given it out to when I do leadership training, even amongst youth, teenagers. I give it to them. It's a business book that they will leverage in their library for the rest of their lives. And the whole meaning behind the book is we talk day in, day out, but are we actually connecting? Are we actually making sure the receiver, and we're communicating to the receiver on their terms so they're able to accept and consume our message? Are we pausing sufficiently to allow them to think? To allow them to think of other things that may come up? Or are we being combative, getting defensive, and not understanding their side and what their needs are? See, in today's world, it's not just today, it's been this way for years. Look in history and read some older books. The same problem happened there. Then we just have more technology influence today than we did then. So think about, how are you able to connect with that one person that you're unable to today? And why are you unable to connect? I mean, it may be ego. I get it. It happens. Trust me, there's plenty of ego, even in this industry, lots of ego. But if you think about how you're able to further advance, what's the solution? What comes to mind for you? Do you need to collaborate with a fellow team member to better understand how to better communicate and align? There's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. See, in today's society, especially in the last couple of years, we've become even more remote. See, for me, working with a remote technology, I've been doing webinars for over 20 years, presentations in front of others, being able to further connect. But being able to be more proficient at that is not easy. Being able to make sure I connect on the other side of the camera, on the receiver side, is also critical. And being able to make that happen is your accountability, not theirs. Yes, sometimes they're going to ignore you. I get it. But it's your responsibility to figure out how to get them to connect. How do you have the receiver actually provide acknowledgement? What kind of suggestions do you have for them? Or how can you help influence their own needs? We all have our own personal needs, personal and professional. The only way we're going to connect with anyone, including even me, is you have a need to learn more. You have a need to connect at this level to say, here's the next step. If you don't worry about communication, get it. So you may not even be listening to this. I get it. But that's not the key. What I found, the reason why I can bring this message up, is I find a lot of consultants as well as practitioners are struggling in this area. Sure, you get certifications. You can worry about software licensing. You can worry about new techniques. You can worry about all the changes, or even drama of the day. And I did say drama of the day, pick your flavor. But is that really serving you? Or do you need to focus and hone it in on what you're really good at and say, instead of being a generalist, I need to focus in one area to be more proficient to help other people? See, at the end of the day, we get so caught up in ourselves that we forget that our sole purpose in our life and our roles is to serve others. So communication is a key part of that. Whether we talk about in the work front, amongst our teams, amongst our stakeholders, amongst our leadership at work, or whether we talk about what's happening at home, we talk about what happens in volunteer organizations. But how can we better educate ourselves in this area? So, in closing, I want to provide the suggestion to you. Here's a book. Look it up. You can get online. You can purchase it via your electronically. You can purchase the book. I like the physical books personally, but look up the book by John Maxwell. Everyone communicates, few connect. Trust me, it will help you thrive that next step. It'll help you better communicate, because at the end of the day, I want you to be successful. I want you to think about how you can be successful in working with others. If you need coaching within the co-op, ask. Seriously, that's what it's here for. That's why we do it, as supportive individuals. Because at the end of the day, when you go home, I want you to relax and say, I've done my best. At the end of the day, I want you, when you go on holiday, to say, I've done what I can. I've communicated the team members I need to. They know what roles to perform, how to react to help you, to make sure we continue operating even if I'm not at the helm. That's what leadership's about. That's my Motivation Monday for you. How can you be that person to help lead others and communicate to help demonstrate to others how they can also better communicate? As we move forward, think about how you can drive that message forward. It's Mr. Bill signing off. Feel free to direct message to me. Follow us on LinkedIn. We're right here for you. I make sure I'm here every week. Feel free to reach out. Thanks. Talk to you soon.